Hello, I'm Michelle Comins, one of the co-founders of Comins Tea, and we thought it was about time we started regularly updating our YouTube channel and our blog. So this is our first post, and this is Bruno, our tea dog. So he's going to be with me because otherwise, if he's left outside, he'll bark. So he may pop up at several points, probably inappropriately during the post, but bear with us. So the first sort of topic I thought I'd talk about is a question we're asked pretty much every day in the tea house or online, and that's about our story in tea and how we came to be in tea. And the more I think about this, the more obvious it is that it's not really our story, it's the collective story of all the people we've met who've helped us, and really all the different people that exist in the kind of ecosystem of tea, from the growers to the auction houses to the importers. So over the coming months, we're going to tell you a bit more about the story of all the people that are behind the great teas that you enjoy at Comins. But I don't mind sharing a little bit about how Rob and I came to live our life in tea, so I'm going to just do that for a couple of minutes now. I've been working in tea now probably on and off, or travelling in tea, for over 10 years, and tea's always had a great significance in my life. So I used to always work on a Saturday, but only for half a day. And my mum, when I was about 16, used to pick me up about 1, and we always used to go for tea. And I remember drinking tea with milk. And then I remember moving to Earl Grey without milk. And then I remember, for a special treat, we used to drink Darjeeling. And it was always as much about the time we took together as it was about the tea. And I guess really that's always stuck with me. The ceremony of tea and the ceremony of taking time over tea is still really important to me, and is, probably why Rob and I have built the tea houses, places for people to actually sit, take time, enjoy their own company or others' company. Rob, his story he'll tell you some other time, but it was very different. He didn't really drink tea at all. He didn't drink any hot drinks. And his first experience of kind of liking tea was when we went to Darjeeling. We took a few months out, there's another dog outside. We took a few months out Bruno. We took a few months out and went to Darjeeling, and it was there, we went completely out of season. It was totally the wrong time of year to go, but it's quite easy to identify the tea gardens in India. They often have big gates leading up to them, and we came across Makabari, which at the time was a very famous estate in Darjeeling. We knocked on the door, and just by chance, by absolute chance, Raja Banerjee, who was a big name in the tea industry, just opened the door. And I guess he saw 2 young people who were kind of keen to learn, but with absolutely no clue really, who were interested in tea, and he spent 4 or 5 hours with us in the tea garden. We drank tea together, we walked around the tea estate, and we talked about life. I think that was one of the most captivating elements of it, really. This was more than just a cup of tea. This was a kind of significant moment where we kind of shared thoughts on life, thoughts on, how products like tea come to be and the human effort that goes into producing them. And both of us were hooked. And we came out, and for those of you who've been to Darjeeling, you'll know there's sort of a road that runs up, and then there's a very steep drop off the side of the hills where you can look over the tea gardens. And I remember standing there. We were probably in our early 20s, and Rob and I saying to each other, there's got to be more people, maybe not quite as eccentric as Raja, but more people just as passionate about tea as Raja, who produce teas that are just as exceptional. And we don't have access to them in the UK, so we should definitely pursue that and try to source tea to bring back to the UK. And it's taken many years, and actually I quite like the fact that it's taken many years. Rob and I wanted to dedicate our lives to something that wasn't fast and quick. We wanted to go to tea gardens around the world, meet people, understand their stories, and importantly understand the teas so that we'd know how to serve them properly and be able to pass that information on to the consumer. And I think that's actually really important when you're serving a product like, good quality tea, because without the right space and kind of information to enjoy tea of this quality, it's actually quite hard to connect with it as a product. So yeah, we've been very lucky, we've been very fortunate with the people who've helped us and given us their time. And now we continue to travel all around the world, meeting with tea farmers. I would say nowadays pretty much every day I wake up to an email from 1 or 2 tea farmers around the world telling me their story, asking me questions. And what I'm really like these days is that we also get emails asking us to share our insights about the British tea industry. So what our customers are drinking, what questions they're asking. You know, we get questions from kind of agricultural colleges in China who want to know what's going on so that they can understand what people want and they can understand better how to tell their story. And that's really fulfilling. And I hope that we'll be doing more of that in the future. So that's just a little bit about how we came to be in tea. There's a lot more information on our website, and I'm sure that Rob will tell you his story one day as well. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel. We're going to be making a video every week, maybe with or without Bruno, depending on how well he behaves. And in the meantime, we'll also be updating our blog with the stories of our growers. If there's anything particularly you'd like to hear about, just leave us a message, and we'll see you again next week. Bye!